You're watching Console Conversations. Hello, everybody. It's me, Walter the Germany Ball, back here with Hayden.
Hi.
And today we're going to be doing something a bit different. Now, we're going to be talking about only 3 things, which might seem normal, but they're going to be very small. So, if you haven't already, make sure to comment below any ideas you have for us and subscribe. But without further ado, let's get into our first topic, which is there is a new trailer for the Pokemon Sword and Shield expansion pass, and I believe I've gone over this a little bit. So Hayden, I'll let you go first. What did you think of this new trailer?
It looks like Pokemon. It looks interesting. It doesn't really look like they're adding anything new. It did at the end, it did show a lot of Gigantamax Pokemon, and it did show a lot of random legendary Pokemon like Lunala, and I forgot the name of the other one, Sun and Moon.
They did show
Yeah.
Regice and the other Reggie Pokemon, which are always very cool Pokemon.
And they
Um,
showed Mewtwo.
Yeah. I mean, I know you're not the hugest Pokemon fan out there, so I just want to let you go first to get your opinions out there. But um, personally, I thought it looked pretty neat. However, my worry is how long it's gonna be because it'll either be like now this is not a game I enjoy, but there's a game called Hollow Knight. And then there's Shovel Knight, which you guys probably know. Those are both indie games, and they have a lot of DLC that comes free with the game, and they're basically the size of the game themselves. So hopefully it'll be more like that, where they'll have tons of content, which seemingly is what it is, because there's tons of new Pokemon that we've never seen before, tons of new mechanics. It looks like they're finally getting the time to make this a really special game. But I just
Wait,
hope it's not kind of like The Last of Us Left Behind, where it's like an hour long and not anything amazing. But
it'll probably be a few hours because it's
yeah,
basically what the other versions of the Pokemon games were
yeah.
um
I mean,
until like
like
Sun Moon.
it took me about 15 hours to beat the base game, Pokemon Shield. Um, but you know, these hopefully will be about maybe 10 to 7 to 10 hours, so that's good. And we got a release date, which is June 17th. And June 17th is a good date. It's 2 days before The Last of Us 2. So, that's nice. Uh, and I will be doing a review of this most likely. I'll try putting out a review for this. Um, So we got a lot of new footage. I believe they're gonna have new gyms, and yeah, that's pretty much all the information they gave us, and that's all we have on this first topic. So let's get into our second topic, which is a very interesting rumor about the PS5. So, like we said, our second topic is about this extremely interesting rumor about the PS5, and it says that a Turkish retailer put out an image that said basically that the PS5 would play all PS4, PS3, and PS2 games. And
Hmm.
let me tell you, when I first looked at the article, all I could see was PS5 backwards compatibility will cover all PS2 and PS3 games. And
Hmm.
then I clicked on the article and I saw according to Turkish retailers. So that was a bit disappointing, but there is hope because there were rumors that something like this would happen. and they immediately took the thing down after it came up. I'm pretty sure that that's what happened. And if that's true, then that gives it a lot more credibility, because why would they take something down if it's not true? But personally, I think that this would be great. But I don't know about you, Hayden. What do you think about this rumor?
I mean, it could just be fake because they could have just taken it down because it was fake and they wanted people to believe it more, or maybe because it doesn't make sense that PS5 PS5 would be able to um I mean run all the games except PS1 games, and
Yeah.
also that the oh, maybe they didn't, maybe if it is true, maybe they're not doing one games so that they can have all the games are easily able to be used with um the, the the dual sticks without having to use the D-pad.
Well, I mean, all the consoles made by PlayStation support the dual stick, so I don't think that'll be too big of an issue. Um, but what happened is basically, yeah, I definitely agree it could be fake, but I was just saying there was some credibility to it. And the interesting thing is the PS1 is the only one they wouldn't include, which is kind of odd because some of my favorite games of all time are on there. And PS1 is ridiculously easy to emulate. Like, they could put that on there and it'd cost them barely anything. PS2 would be maybe bit, like a tiny bit more expensive, but nothing at all that seems impossible. And then PS3 is really what gets me, because why would they have PS3 backwards compatibility when that console is almost impossible to include unless you spend a ton of money and compromise lots of things? But maybe the PS1 was just a mistake and they will have PS1, and maybe this whole thing is fake, like you said, Hayden.
Yeah.
So currently we only have PS4 games confirmed to work on the PS5, but hopefully this rumor is correct. And we have one more topic for you, so stick around for that. And as for our third topic, Sony decided to postpone the PS5 event, and if you didn't know, that is why this episode of Console Conversations is not about the PS5 event, because, it was postponed, so we couldn't really do that. But they postponed it, quote, to allow more important voices to be heard. And EA and Google both did similar things with events that they were planning. Um, they they were originally going to do it on June 4th, but there are currently a lot of protests because of some things that are happening in America right now. And we're not going to get into that, but basically, not a lot of people are having a good time. A lot of people are angry on all sides of the argument, and so Sony decided to postpone it so that they could die down. And they said that they understand gamers want to see the PS5 games, but they don't think that right now is a time to celebrate, and they want to take that time to let this whole thing die down, which, makes sense. They're just going to just wait until people are a bit less angry and are a bit more ready to celebrate. So, In case you didn't know, that is why this episode's not about the PS5 event, and that is why the PS5 event is going to be happening later. So I know that that topic was short, but now we have our quick fire round. So, Hayden, do you have any quick fire stories you'd like to tell to everybody watching?
Yeah. So earlier this week, Nintendo put a private video on their new this week playlist, and that is either the National American Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Online tourney, or it's like a Smash Ultimate Direct or like a Nintendo Direct that they're having there.
Well, and it might be a Metroid Prime 4 or whatever, because, Origami King got that random announcement, so it might be an announcement for another game. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it could be a lot of things. And so, I have a story here. The co-writer of The Last of Us Part 2 said that there are going to be no heroes and no villains in the game, which that's good because I'm not going to spoil anything, but just know that that's a common theme throughout the best parts in The Last of Us 1's story. So, if that is a common theme in The Last of Us 2, I think that the story will be much better than most people give it credit for. So, Hayden, do you have any other stories?
Um, hmm, not really.
All right. Well, I have one final story, and this is a big one. Sega is planning something, and something big. Apparently, a lot of news sources say it's going to be massive, and some people are saying that it's going to be Xbox Sega console or Xbox buying Sega, which seems unlikely. It's one of those things where it's ridiculous that
Yeah,
it would happen. Like you're like that's impossible.
Sega
But if
Sega
it
has a lot of good selling IPs.
but yeah, but at the same time, if Xbox did that, it would benefit them because Sega has very strong grip on the Japanese games industry. So
Yeah, but
and
my
Xbox does not. So they could help them out, but I really doubt that they would buy Sega, especially since they're kind of seemingly against console exclusives at this point. Um,
Yeah, and also Xboxes don't sell in Japan, so it'd be kind of weird to have a company that doesn't sell consoles in Japan buying a company that has a strong grip on the Japanese market.
well, no, that would make sense because Sega would then be able to help Xbox because they know the Japanese games industry, so they would be able to help Xbox understand it. But anyway, um, so this is gonna be not very much a quick fire round. We were kind of just using that quick fire round to segue into this. We're gonna have a little presentation for you guys. We're going to each say what we think it is and what we want it to be for Sega. They also have something planned for Sonic, but we're not going to talk about that today. So I'll go first, and we're basically going to say what we think it will be, what is likely, and then what we want it to be, no matter how unlikely and ridiculous it is. So, personally, I think it will be either a new Sega console, which is a bit less
Mm,
likely, but
yeah.
still possible since, I mean, Atari and Intellivision are coming out with new consoles. So, anything is possible. But what I think is going to happen, what I hope is going to happen is new mini consoles, but what I think is going to happen is either a new console or a return to an old IP and I'd be fine with the latter. The latter is more likely, and I'd be more okay with that. I don't really want them to make a new console. And what I hope it is a Sega Saturn Mini, because that would be amazing. Because the Sega Saturn is underrated, and I haven't talked about this, but in the season finale of the first season of Console Conversations, I had a comment by LALOY, I believe, and they said that the Sega Saturn was actually much better than I thought, so I researched it, and it is. So, there's a little shout out for you. But now, Hayden, you can go ahead. What do you think it's gonna be, and what do you hope it's gonna be?
I think a mini console is possible because they already have the Genesis as a mini console,
Yeah, and
and
that sold 30
or
million.
they could just be the big thing could just be like a bunch of Sonic announcements,
Yeah, that's
like a bunch of
possible as well.
Sonic spin-offs and Sonic major games and stuff.
Yeah. And what would be cool is if they release Sonic Extreme, which was the canceled first 3D Sonic game. So, that's all we have for you guys today on Console Conversations. Thank you guys for watching. Comment down below what you think we should do next. And be safe. Goodbye.